Some people choose to be vegan. Others buy shit tables. The Coffee Table is written and directed by Kaya Casas, who's done projects like Killing God, also written by Christina Barabia, and it centers around a couple named Jesus, played by David Perea, and Maria, played by Estefana de los Santos. Okay, it doesn't quite work the same as the Carlos Santana song, but they have welcomed a new bundle of joy into their life, a newborn baby son, and their lives are never going to be the same. And anybody that's a parent, you know it is tough, because when you decide to have that unity and create life, you have to forego sleep. You have to basically sacrifice every bit of sanity and every bit of your time to raise that little crying goddamn shit the right way. As you can tell, I absolutely love children. So much so that I will never have any of my own. But enough about that. Jesus and Maria are setting up their place nicely, and they've got everything that they need. Almost. So Maria and Jesus go to a discount furniture store. And during this, during this chat with the shopkeep about this particular coffee table, Maria and Jesus argue, as couples are known to do. Maria has chosen a lot of the decor. Jesus really wants this table. Christ knows why, because it's hideous. And even though they have arguments, she's like, you know what? Whatever. It is what it is. Go ahead and have it. I don't care. You want it? That's fine. You say that I get everything. You can have this. So he brings the table home, kind of in hilarious fashion, in a really, really big box. And anything that comes out of a box instantly gets over. And he has an interaction with a neighbor and her daughter and their barking dog. We get a little bit of, backstory there as far as how they know each other. And then he goes to building the table. And during the building of the table, Maria says, oh, by the way, your brother and his new girlfriend are coming over. I'm going to go shopping. You watch the kid. And about 20 minutes in, something happens. And then from there, it's a rapid descent into, holy shit, they went this route. Okay, I see where they're going. All right. It is quite grounded, shockingly, for a dark comedy horror movie with some suspensors, a decent amount of just horrific imagery, and it's more even what you don't see or what's just, barely shown, and what's told through the reactions of the actors that actually really sells the whole thing. I do want to credit David Perea, who's really, really good as Jesus. He's really, really good. Now, I'm going to get into spoilers here in a bit, but those that have seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about 20 minutes in. I was like, all right, let's see how the rest of this goes. I'm not going to say it's a perfect movie, by the way. There are a few issues I do have. Even though the movie is just a shade under 90 minutes, there are a few scenes that feel like they're just padding out the runtime. But for good world building and for pretty good acting, and especially a whopper of a goddamn ending, and showing promise as a filmmaker, I really did appreciate what this film did. And it also showed how marital strife can lead to a lot of things and how being a parent can be really, really difficult. And yeah, all over a coffee table. All over a goddamn coffee table. It's not supernatural. It's just kind of visceral. And pretty good. Pretty good overall. It's a few bucks on Amazon. I was happy to plunk my money down. And very happy with the pittance that I put out of my pocket. And hopefully, the director and all involved can move on to more projects, because this showed some promise from the director/writer. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say right there. I'm going to get into spoilers. It's on Amazon for a few bucks if you want to check it out. That's all I got to say. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. So, I do like how they set up the whole thing where they're in the shop and how it's a Swedish coffee table, but it actually turns out it was made in China, as one, would be known to do. Just why get anything from there? Why get it from IKEA when you could just get it from China? So they can't agree on much, and I do have to say they actually do capture the marital strife. You can see both sides. You can see how Jesus maybe is feeling a little bit stressed, but also Maria wants to make sure he's committed as a parent, because often it is the mother that is left alone to raise the kid, because some men feel that it's just not worth it. Always stick around for the kid, or at least try to stick around the kids' lives. So it turns out that the shopkeeper and the baby have the same name, Cayetano. I think that's how it's said. I'm not Spanish, as you can tell, so if I mispronounce any of these names, I apologize. And Maria does have one funny line, reference to, you're talking about the coffee table like it's a dog. And oh, it has unbreakable glass. Yeah, even I could tell looking at this table that was a lie. But there is a funny exchange with, Jesus and the shopkeep. Between you and me, do you like this table? No, but let me draw out the paperwork for you anyway, because he's desperate to get it out of there. The credits in the instruction book, I really like that. That was a very creative choice. I like that. There's an implication that the little girl, Ruth, really likes Jesus, and maybe Jesus did something, or maybe it's an implication, or maybe it's something that she, took the wrong way or whatever, just an older guy being nice to a teenage girl. We don't really actually know. We don't really get to find out that much about it because things get horrific pretty quickly. So, lots of marital strife over trivial shit. As I've heard, that is what marriage is like. I have no intention of ever being married. And she goes off to get food and stuff. He's playing music, trying to calm the kid down. And then we see a shot, so it's the shooting from the hallway, and we see the living room. It's like a loft apartment or something like that. And glass breaks. And Jesus is all horrified. And obviously he tripped or something and he fell into the thing. I mean, he tries to explain it later, but it's pretty goddamn horrifying because we just see the pain and the dread on his face as he tries to clean this up. Because there's blood everywhere. There's blood from him, and there's blood from the fact that, oh yeah, the baby's head is gone. Baby's decapitated. Totally decapitated. We find that out later. So yeah, he goes about cleaning that up while Maria runs into some old friends. One that got divorced. And talking about, being a new mom. Yeah, well, you're going to have to try again, honey, because your husband accidentally decapitated your newborn baby boy. And David does very well here. I do want to say. And not that Estefana doesn't do a good job as Maria. But this is really about his show. This is really about, him trying to, clean up his mistake. And how is he going to explain this? And that's something I think that any marriage could identify with. Maybe not decapitating your newborn child, but just how am I going to explain this? I shouldn't laugh, but parts of it are funny. He cleans it up, or tries to. He gets some stuff from Ruth's mother. And Ruth was like, when are you going to tell your wife about us? And he gave her like a poetry book. It was like a love poem book, but it was like for a school project. My guess is she just interpreted all this stuff differently. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's where the dark comedy comes in. So, the shopkeeper shows up because earlier he had called while Maria was there about a missing screw. So he brings it there. He also has a flyer for a raffle to win a luxury fan. Luxury fan. Look at that shop. I wouldn't trust that shop with someone else's money. Very forward shopkeeper. I don't have a lot of friends. You want to hang out at some point? All this stuff's happening. So Maria will be home in like 30 minutes. Now, he's on the phone with her a couple times but hanging up in the moment of truth. I put him in a deep sleep, he says. So then the dinner goes on because Carlos, played by the way, Joseph Maria Rea, and his young girlfriend, Christina, played by Claudia Rea, they have to be a real-life couple. They have to be. Either that or they're kissing cousins. I mean, I haven't really figured. I assume they're a real couple given their last name. So, Maria's kind of laughing maniacally because she finds out about the table being broken. And how could you break it so quickly? And she doesn't know. She sees the blood on the floor, but that's from his hand. So, okay. And they have the dinner. Or the lunch, or whatever, I don't know. I think it's sometime in the afternoon. And there's memories shared. It turns out Christina is actually going to have a kid at, she had to do in vitro, I believe. And she's going to have a kid. No, your son will have somebody to play with about that. And they start to suspect shit is up even before this. And Jesus is not exactly doing a good job hiding this. He's really not. It's actually pretty goddamn horrifying. And I mean, imagine if an accident like that happened, something happened to your child, that you would obviously be torn up. So, we get to dinner. We get some, reflection on childhood memories in the baby's room, or in a room, like, because it was his grandma's old house. And, or his grandma's old place, so we had some old toys and stuff like that. The brothers, there were a few points where I thought maybe a little bit of this was padding, but it at least set things up kind of nicely. So, Jesus basically delivers a message over the phone, a recording that he's going to send to Maria. It was a stupid accident, all this. And that, oh yeah, his head is under the armchair, and I couldn't go get it. Baby's been decapitated this whole time, just laying in the crib while the blood's been dripping. Earlier, there was a scene where the blood was dripping over the monitor. And the brother's trying to make sense of this. And this is right where things kick in for the end. He says the line, "There's no way she can see the headless baby." I don't know why that made me laugh. I have issues. So Ruth then arrives, basically like, well, your husband was going to tell you this. And the dog's there. And the dog goes under the armchair. Everybody else is horrified. Gets covered in blood. No, the baby's head is underneath the goddamn thing. And earlier, Jesus had implied that he was going to jump off the balcony. And then actually flat out told his brother he was going to. And that's important for here in a second. Christina throws up, as you would, seeing a headless infant. As you would. And then, we're panning around to everybody. Everybody's panicked. Maria has the baby's head and jumps over the balcony. Now, we don't see that, but it's implied. And then the police arrive, and the police are talking to the brother, but the brother's not saying anything. And also, Jesus threw himself over the balcony. So, that's pretty much it right there. He just kept him under in the coffee table is what the brother did. And then we see the stands of the coffee table right there. All over a damn coffee table. Now your baby's dead, and you're all dead. Isn't parenting great? Gets a B+. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to say it was perfect, but B+, and I look forward to seeing what the director can do in the future, because this showed some promise. Some good tension. Good dark comedy. I laughed, and I have issues. B+. Agree, disagree what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rentlin. I'll see you soon.